Now, the latest from El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio, where two mass shootings left 29 people dead. And the state is looking at what it can do for farmers' mental health. We'll tell you what resources are available and what the state wants to add. Plus, how one martial arts school is trying to teach its kids to have fun and give back to the community.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amy Reed. We start tonight with the closure of Highway 213 south of Evansville due to a two-car crash. Rock County Dispatch says crews were called to the accident at 8:17 tonight. Crews were still on the scene at 9 o'clock. Dispatch says MedFlight was called but later canceled. Officials cannot confirm any injuries right now. 29 people are dead after gunmen opened fire in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio. It started yesterday afternoon in an El Paso shopping center where a gunman identified as Nicholas Crucius left 20 people dead and more than 2 dozen injured. Prosecutors in El Paso say they'll seek the death penalty for the 21-year-old and pursue domestic terrorism charges. Then early this morning, a gunman wearing body armor opened fire in a popular nightlife district in Ohio, killing 9, including his own sister, and injuring 27 others before he was killed by police. He's been identified as 24-year-old Ohio native Connor Betts. Today, President Trump called the shooters mentally ill and prompted new action to stop mass shootings. But CBS News' Nicole Killian says some Democratic presidential candidates are pointing the finger at the president.
I want to extend our condolences.
As he returned to the White House, President Trump expressed his solidarity with El Paso and Dayton, condemning what he called senseless attacks.
I just want to say that these are two incredible places. We love the people. Hate has no place in our country.
But many of his 2020 rivals laid the blame squarely at the president's feet, even labeling him a white nationalist.
The president not only tolerates but invites the kind of racism and hatred that not only offends us but changes who we are as a country.
He's spoken about immigrants as being invaders. He's given license for this toxic brew of white supremacy.
The president's acting chief of staff argued no politician is to blame, while the president said there are other factors.
This is also a mental illness problem. If you look at both of these cases, this is mental illness.
With lawmakers out on August recess, some are demanding that Congress return immediately to take up gun legislation.
Show the country, for gosh sakes, that the people representing them in Washington don't always kowtow to the gun lobby.
The president says he has spoken to members of Congress and the Attorney General about what can be done. He plans to make another statement about the shootings tomorrow. At least 3 of the survivors in El Paso remain in critical condition tonight. Let's turn it over now to meteorologist Dana Fulton with your first alert forecast. Hey, Dana.
Amy, right now things are overall quiet. There's just one little area of rain passing along through at the edge of Columbia and Dane County right now. No lightning along with it currently, so it is just some heavier showers just outside of Sun Prairie, Waunakee, and Lodi. That storm's going to continue to travel southeast. We'll likely be seeing some showers in Sun Prairie in the next 20-30 minutes or so. But it's just that one little spot. We did have some isolated showers and thunderstorms earlier this evening. Of course, not everywhere seeing rain, as those isolated spots did pop up and are died down since. 78 in Madison right now, 74 in Platteville. It is going to be a little mild tonight as our breeze is a southwest kind of flow for us. Heading into tomorrow, plan on a calm start to the day, but in the afternoon and evening, we do have the chance for some very strong thunderstorms to come on in. We have an alert day in the forecast now for Monday. We'll take a closer look at why and the full work week ahead in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Dana. More local news now. Madison police are looking for a man in his early 20s after he was accused of robbing a pizza delivery driver at gunpoint early this morning. Police say the incident happened shortly after midnight on the 300 block of North Broome Street. Officers say the suspect was with a group of 5 men and 1 woman when he showed a gun and took cash from a Domino's delivery driver. The driver was not injured and reportedly didn't call police until he got back to his store. Anyone who has any information is asked to call Madison area Crime Stoppers. A man is dead after a 1-car crash in the town of Green Lake this morning. Green Lake County officials say they received a call at 9 o'clock for a crash on County Highway K west of Lakeview Road. Police say the 29-year-old occupant of the 2004 Subaru was pronounced dead at the scene. He was driving westbound when his car left the roadway and hit a group of trees. Officials say they had to cut a path through the trees to even get to the car. The wife of one of two Wisconsin brothers who went missing in Missouri and are now presumed dead says their disappearance is horrifying. Lisa DeMouse told the Kansas City Star that her husband and brother-in-law's disappearance is a nightmare that she'll just have to live with for the rest of her life. 35-year-old Nicholas DeMull and his 24-year-old brother Justin were reportedly missing on July 21st. Garland Nelson is in jail without bail on charges of tampering with a rental truck that the brothers used during their trip. Nelson is accused of driving the truck from a farm visited by the brothers during a business trip for their cattle operation in Wisconsin. A study of some private wells in Grant, Iowa, and Lafayette counties is trying to figure out what is causing contamination. Samples were collected in April from 35 random private wells previously determined to contain high levels of coliform bacteria or high nitrates. This week, homeowners learned 32 of those wells, or 91%, had fecal contamination from either humans or livestock. Researchers emphasize this doesn't mean there's a region-wide contamination because the sampling came from wells already known to be contaminated. However, the study hopes to show what is causing it and how to keep it from happening in the future. Farmers across Wisconsin are struggling with their mental health as prices fall, tariffs rise, and their finances drain. Rose Schmidt joins us to explain the resources that are out there. Rose.
Yes, Amy, national statistics show that farmers have the highest rate of suicide of any occupation. And there's actually a task force at the Capitol devoted to suicide prevention, which is looking at the need for community-based sustainable programs to help farmers through this difficult time. At the Wisconsin State Fair, you'll find products like cheese curds and milk, but farmers producing these very products say they're struggling to pay their bills. Richard Guy from Sparta explains that the routine is the same for farmers, but with far less of a payout because they're getting less for milk than they did 40 years ago.
They come depressed. They get up every morning and at 5 o'clock or 4:30, go to the barn and milk them cows and everything, and then the milk check comes and it just don't amount to nothing.
Governor Tony Evers reacted to the state's budget committee rejecting $100,000 in funding for farmer mental health assistance that was provided in his 2-year spending plan.
Unfortunately, the Joint Finance Committee didn't release that money for us to use it, and it seems like something that would make common sense.
DACAP Secretary-designee Brad Paff says the department has the money to provide just 5 more counseling vouchers to farmers in need of mental health care. He faced criticism, though, when he asked which 5 farmers it will be. And if you are a farmer who is struggling or you know someone who is, know that there are a number of resources out there, including the Farm Center at 1-800-942-2474. You can also text the Hope Line at 741-741.
Very important story. Thank you so much, Rose. Kids from Infinity Martial Arts Studio in Fitchburg were kicking and picnicking for a good cause today. The annual Kicknick allows the students to come together and celebrate their team while also raising money for a nonprofit. Infinity Martial Arts owner Tyler Schaub says he tries to teach kids about selflessness and awareness. And working with Geo's Garden, a Middleton-based respite center for children with special needs, lets his kids see they can make a difference in their community.
It's been awesome being able to work with them and have these kids come out today and do these kicks and do the work, not for the reward of like a prize or for something as far as like recognition for them, but that idea that through this selfless act that they can make a difference in somebody else's life.
In the past, Infinity's Kicknicks have raised more than $75,000 for the American Family Children's Hospital. News 3 Now anchor Charlotte DeLeste is the founder of Geo's Garden, which serves many families and kids in the community. Some feline fever took over the Bartell Theater. These are the amazing acro cats. These orphaned and rescued cats tour all over the country, showing off the tricks that their owner, Samantha Martin, taught them with clicker training. She sold out theaters across the country, and she says audience members are always in awe of what these cats can do. But she says every cat can become an acro cat.
That not only can their cat be trained, but they should be trained because it gives them the mental stimulus and the physical activity that cats really need.
Samantha also works to match kittens and cats with their forever families. After every show, there's a meet and greet, including foster cats in need of homes. In the 10 years since her touring started, Samantha has homed 260 cats and kittens. Acro Cats also works with local rescues and humane societies, so part of the proceeds of every event goes to helping more cats find homes. Madison MightyCon is trying to take comic conventions back to their roots. The annual comic show took place today at the Monona Terrace, looking to showcase independent comic artists. Head promoter Randy Lee Beasley says he's looking to put on an old school classic show with a little bit of new flair and thinks Madison is a perfect place for that.
Madison is a giant place for food, nerdom, which I don't even know if that's an existing word at this point, and culture, like in general. So it's to me, it's what's the term? Flattering to see all this cool stuff happening. People aren't being made fun of for liking comics and toys and video games anymore.
Beasley says conventions can take months to put together, and the MightyCon team will start planning next year's event in about a week. The CrossFit Games ended today, and one man was able to make history. Matt Frazier won his 4th consecutive championship, establishing himself again as the fittest on earth. Frazier won 6 events over the 4-day competition, the most of any individual athlete ever in a single CrossFit Games. Tia Claire Toomey dominated the women's field and became the first woman to claim 3 consecutive titles in CrossFit Games history. CrossFit co-founder Greg Glassman told News 3 Now yesterday that he plans on keeping the competition in Madison for the foreseeable future. Still to come on News 3 Now at 10, Truex Field might be the next home of an F-35 jet, but we'll show you how the Air Force's decision could impact one Eastside church.
When a
Madison's east side could see a significant noise increase if the U.S. Air Force decides to house F-35 jets at Truex Field. That's according to an environmental impact statement released earlier this week. Gabriela Becerra has more on how an east side church could be affected.
If it's Sunday morning, you'll find Pastor Amanda Stein in the worship center.
And I feel very fortunate to serve a group of people who want to just bring greater love into the world.
Bashford United Methodist Church is celebrating 100 years in their neighborhood this fall.
It is definitely a place of peace, but I would also say maybe even more so a place of social justice and neighborhood interest and neighborhood life.
It's located only 10 minutes away from Dane County Regional Airport and Truax Field.
Almost every Sunday, we hear a plane go by.
But Stein says it's not the military jets that are interrupting their worship.
You can even hear one go by right now.
Yeah, it seems kind of busy, maybe just because we're noticing it.
Rather, other types of airplanes.
You're trying to bring together the people to be all in one space in one moment, and then there's a small distraction like that. It can derail or certainly just distract a little bit.
And despite the distraction, it always passes.
If I'm speaking, I will often have to pause and just let it go by. Not all that unlike somebody coughing in the sanctuary or a baby crying.
Stein says she can't predict whether a potential noise increase from F-35 jets will cause problems in their sanctuary.
I guess it's hard to say until it happens to actually have a reaction, because I feel that sometimes we're overreactive or too preemptive in having an opinion about something.
And with a diversity of opinions, Stein is hoping the community can still come together.
It's really difficult to say that there's one voice, and as the clergy person, I simply want to be able to hear those and try and mitigate or find conversation or compromise where we can.
Church members living nearby say the high noise levels from the F-16 jets are more bothersome at home, rattling windows and sometimes making it hard to hear the TV. For more information on the study, visit our website, channel3000.com. Now let's get a look at your forecast now with meteorologist Dana Fulton. How's it going?
Amy, overnight things are going to stay pretty quiet and calm for us. Right now there is just one isolated shower still at the edge of Columbia and Dane County passing southeast. The rest of the area dry and steadily just staying partly cloudy overnight. Our next front, though, off to the west, and it is going to continue to push southeast as it drives closer. It's going to be moving pretty quickly, and it's going to bring the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms in the heat of the day tomorrow. And unfortunately, that's a bit of a recipe to maybe see some strong wind gusts and some hail in spots also. We'll take a close look at the future track in a second. Right now, it's about 78 Madison with our dew points in the mid to upper 60s. It's very humid outside. It's going to stay muggy overnight compared to this time yesterday. Is a bit of a jump, about a few degree jump in our dew points overnight in the last 24 hours. Monday morning, we'll start off with some sunshine, but you can see that line starting to pass through in the afternoon and evening. A lot of the heavier rainfall coming through later in the evening. If it comes later after the heat of the day, that's the good news. If we start to see it in the middle of the afternoon, that's really when we could deal for some of those stronger storms. By Tuesday morning, the clouds clearing on out. Our skies will steadily become mostly sunny in the afternoon, and it's also going to feel a lot better outside on Tuesday. Won't be nearly as humid. There is a slight risk for severe weather stretching from Green Bay all the way to Platteville. That's really the area as we see that cold front crossing on over during the heat of the day. This is the area, of course, that we could be dealing with the strongest thunderstorms. A marginal risk, though, just outside of this. So all of southern Wisconsin will be keeping a close eye on the radar tomorrow as those storms do develop. So overnight, partly cloudy. Tomorrow morning, our temperatures will drop to the upper 60s. That means it's going to be pretty mild early in the day. And then once we get into the afternoon, it's going to be a little breezy outside. Temperature-wise, we will be in the mid-80s with our heat index readings close to 90 thanks to all that humidity coming in. And we are going to watch the chance for those showers and thunderstorms to slide through later in the day. Some heavy rain expected with those thunderstorms. Again, also the threat for some stronger wind gusts and some hail at times. Tuesday overall, though, mostly sunny and not too bad outside. We do have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow now because of that slight risk for severe weather. It'll be impacting your late afternoon right around the time you drive home. So, of course, you may want to have that weather app downloaded. That way, if anything is issued in your area, you just get the alert right in the palm of your hand. Overnight low of about 67 in Madison, a partly cloudy sky, and again, just mild and muggy. 86 the high for tomorrow. Madison, partly sunny, humid, with those storm chances developing later in the afternoon and evening. We're looking at about 88 to 89 along the state line closer to Platteville and Janesville. Temperatures behind this front will drop off for the middle of the week. We'll be closer to average, closer to 80, with our dew points also dropping. We get sunshine there for the middle of the week, a slight storm chance in the afternoon on Wednesday and Thursday. But next weekend, right now, is actually looking pretty decent. Partly sunny skies and temperatures in a pretty comfortable spot. But again, tomorrow afternoon and evening, there is the chance for those strong to severe thunderstorms to pop on up. No need to cancel plans right now, but again, just keep an eye to the sky.
Right, we'll keep a watch on it. Thanks so much, Dana. Stick around. The Packers get ready to host some special guests at Monday's practice. We'll head to Green Bay next.
Wisconsin.
The Brewers not helping their cause in the race for the National League Central Division. The Crew, Cubs, and Cardinals have all been seeing who can be just a little bit better than the others. It's August, so the margin for error is shrinking. Top of the first, Cubs trying to sweep the Brewers out of Wrigley. Christian Yelich, 37th homer, leads the Bigs. The Crew has a 1-0 lead. It was short-lived. After home run in the first, Jason Hayward, 2-out RBI triple into the right field corner in the second. That gave the Cubs the lead. They would not give it back. Kyle Schwarber leaving like in a big way. Makes it 4-1 with the solo shot. Cubs win 7-2. They lead the Brewers by 4 games in the National League Central Division. Final day of the All-City Swim Meet at the West Side Swim Club. Multiple heats in 70 events, and they go rapid fire, so you better buckle up. From ages 8 to 19, Middleton Gators trying to defend their team title. Ladies breaststroke finals, 15 to 19-year-olds. Third from the top in lane 3, Kiera Bisson from Ridgewood. The neon green cap, she touches the wall first. Men's 15 to 19 butterfly, Wesley Jekyll also in lane 3. Wins by a body length, 54-96. Last race, the 200 Freestyle relay, the Seminole Sharks take first, but Ridgewood wins the team title. Middleton second. Seminole finishes in third. J.J. Watt tweeted, "Hello, Wisconsin." The Texans team plane landed in Green Bay this afternoon ahead of 2 practices with the Packers on Monday and Tuesday. Practice number 1 gets underway tomorrow morning at 10:15. Now, it's scheduled for 2 hours and 15 minutes, so the Pack took it easy today. No full pads, but head coach Matt LaFleur liked the crispness of the workout after having Saturday off. His squad just wants to line up against someone other than themselves.
When I was with Baltimore, we went against the Rams and the Colts. So this is like my second go around to have a team joint practice. So to come in, man, and just get somebody else in front of you. You know, we've been going against each other for the past 3 weeks. So to have another team come in, man, and just get going with them guys, man, and compete is a whole different volume of practice.
Football dictionary time. Getting back to Wisconsin football. A 7-5 regular season and losing the Axe to Minnesota don't qualify. Head coach Paul Chryst said he believed it's a blip on the radar, but they know what they have to do to make it not happen again. And the players have written their own definition of Wisconsin football.
We have a motto, it's smart, tough, and dependable, and we got to be that all the time. And, you know, we strive for greatness, and we want to be great, and we have to do little details because that's what it comes down to.
You're going to feel it when you play Wisconsin. You know, like the next week, you're going to be hurting. Then you're going to be spreading this to the other Big Ten teams, or you're going to be going back to your school and telling everybody about how physical Wisconsin was, how smart they were. All these penalties that we've had or getting out of position is not Wisconsin football, so that's what getting back to Wisconsin football is.
Go bowling at the Glen. Moment of silence for the victims of this weekend's shootings before we get going at Watkins Glen. Bubba Wallace, this is a bad look for the backside. Rips it off the 43. Chase Elliott won the last race at this track, and he would win again in dominant fashion. Led 80 of 90 laps, picks up his 5th career checkered flag. 4 races to go in NASCAR's regular season. 1 more commercial break to go, and we are back to finish the show.
Earlier tonight, we brought you the latest details from this weekend's mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. Now we want to bring you a story of hope. This is Manuel Oliver, a father who lost his son in the Parkland massacre in February 2018. Oliver has turned his grief into a singular mission, using his power of art to advocate gun control today. His son Joaquin would have turned 19 today, and his father Manny has been painting murals in his honor. Today he just happened to be in El Paso.
And I got the news on my phone. Everybody tweeting because they knew that I was in El Paso. And I said, oh, okay, happened again. I think it was meant to be for us to be here.
Oliver's goal is to remind people of the real lives lost in every mass shooting and to let people see who his son is. Let's take a final look at the weather.
Overnight, we're going to stay partly cloudy. It'll be mild to muggy to start off the day tomorrow. In the afternoon, though, we do have the chance for some stronger thunderstorms to pass on through with the cold front. Because of this, we have an alert day in the forecast for Monday. Behind that front, we get sun for the middle of the week and a little more comfortable temperatures in the lower 80s and a drop in our dew points also.
I'm digging that upper 70s. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.